What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dad Does Videos. Today we are going to put up these 34-inch by 72-inch faux wood Allen and Roth white blinds in our garage. All right, so as you can see, my garage has two windows in it. We already put up one set of blinds right here. They look good, so we're gonna go ahead and finish the job and put up the other set right over here. All right, now as you'll see, as we get into this, the way that I put up these blinds is going to be a little bit different than the directions that come with the product, and that's okay. You can figure out for yourself how you want to go ahead and install the product for whatever your needs are. It might be a combination of what I do with the directions that come with the product. First thing you want to do before you even buy anything, however, is to measure your window. You want to measure across to get the width, and then you want to measure up and down to see the length of the blinds that you need. Now, mine is right about 34 by 72, so when you go to a Home Depot or a Lowe's, and the product that I bought comes from a Lowe's, they'll have all kinds of different dimensions available for you. And if you don't see the dimension that you want, you can just ask the folks there to cut the product for you so it will fit your window. Keep in mind though, whatever width is displayed on the box, the actual width, and I have no idea why they do this, is about a half an inch shorter. So I bought the 34 by 72 blinds knowing that the actual width is 33 and a half. So just something to keep in mind as you're shopping around. So here is a look at the contents of the box. Of course, the majority is made up by the actual blinds, but then on the corner here, there's a bunch of other pieces and parts here that we are going to use, whether they're screws, some things that attach to the blinds a little bit later on, and then the brackets that we are going to use to hold the blinds in place. All right, next thing we're going to do is figure out where we want to have our blinds hang from. And what I mean by that is where on the window we want to put our brackets on. So as you can see, there is a piece of material that goes horizontally right there, and that's where I want to have my brackets set up right here and then across, so that they will start to hang from where that piece of material is and go all the way down. And I know I want to have it there because I measured from there all the way to the bottom of the window is 72 inches, and that's the size, or that's the length of the blinds that I purchased. Now, if you're hanging this inside and you have your window casing, it's really easy to figure out where you're going to hang your blinds from, because you're going to put those brackets all the way up as high as they can go under your casing, the horizontal top of the window. That's it. That's an easier installation than doing something like this, and I'll show you why in a second. Next, we are going to grab one of the brackets that came with our blinds and install this on one side of where we want to hang our blinds. So this would go right up there, and we will need to get on a ladder to do that, or at least a short stepping stool. When you put this in, you want to make sure that this little flap is facing outwards, and then it flaps to the inside like that. And the reason is you want the top of your blinds to slide right in to this slot, so then eventually you'll be able to close this flap right behind it and lock it in place. All right, so find a spot on your window casing or the wall or whatever it is there you're going to install these blinds, and use your pencil and mark the areas, the two screw holes where you're going to screw in the screws. I'd also suggest you might want to use a leveler here to make sure that your bracket is level as well, because you don't want it tilted up or down. All right, now once you accomplish that, you're gonna drill pilot holes. Now the directions that came with the product say to use a 3/32 drill bit. I think it's a little easier to go with the next size up. That is a 7/64 drill bit. So that is what I'm going to use to simply drill that hole right into where those pencil marks are that you just made. All right, so now that we have our pilot holes ready to go, we're gonna grab our bracket, and again, make sure your flap is flapping inside, so to speak. Grab a couple screws that came with the product and use a drill to attach your bracket right to the spot where you made those pilot holes. So just give that a little wiggle, make sure your bracket is not moving, and then you're finished installing that. Okay, next we're gonna pick up our blinds and kind of grab the top of it just to create a little bit of space under here where the blinds start for the next step, but we want to pull down on the bottom to create that space, just gently. You're not going to hurt anything. As you can see, just like that, we've got a little bit of space in between the top of the blinds and where the blinds begin. All right, so I'm just going to talk through the beginning stages of this next part because my hands are going to be full when I'm actually showing it to you. We are going to find out where we are installing this other bracket on the opposite side of the bracket that we already put in place. Now, if you're doing this on the inside of your home and you've got just a rectangular space where your window is, that's easy, right? Because where you put your initial bracket, it's probably the highest it can go in the window casing, and then you're gonna install the other bracket on the opposite side as high as it can go. It's generally going to be almost level because it's a window casing. We don't have that option here, right? Because we have this strip of material that goes across, but there's nothing stopping us from putting our other bracket too high across from the one that we installed, thereby making our blinds uneven and not level. So we are going to have to put our other bracket on the end of our blinds, make it look like we are installing the blinds, and then make sure we have a level on top of our blinds to then ensure that we are installing our other bracket in the right spot so that everything looks even and balanced and level when the blinds are installed. All right, so as you can see, we are going to slide our bracket onto the top of our blinds, and that's why we wanted a little bit of space here in that previous step. So we can just slide this right on, and we are going to then, with our level, as you can see, hopefully see up here, there it is, slide the other part into the bracket that we already installed, and then what we will be able to do is then put our other bracket that we are going to install next all the way to the wall here to see where that thing is going to line up and go. I've got a pencil in my pocket, and I'm just moving the blind up a little bit so I can see the level to see if that looks good, and it looks good right now. So what I'm going to do, after I get myself adjusted here, is make a little mark, and you can do this however it works for you, right? To remind myself where this bracket should be going, where it should be placed when I take our setup right now down. Now, however you want to do that, however it works for you, you go ahead and do that. I'm just making a slight mark underneath where the bracket goes, and I know the camera isn't on it, but it's a really tough angle to get. So do whatever you feel like you need to do to make sure your setup is ready to go. When you're okay with it, you remove gently the whole blinds, and then we'll come back. So since we didn't get a great angle of it when I was actually showing you what I was doing, here are the pencil marks that I put on to remind myself where the bracket's gonna go. That is the bottom of the bracket, here is the top of the bracket. And now we're just gonna hold our bracket back up there, mark where our pilot holes should go, and then drill those pilot holes. And once you get those pilot holes drilled, go ahead and grab that other bracket and install it just the same way that you did the first bracket. Again, make sure your flat goes to the inside. As you can see, we have our other bracket installed, so now we are going to grab our blinds, and we're still gonna keep them pretty compact right now. And we're gonna slide the top of the blinds into the brackets. Now your flap should be open, right? We didn't do anything with those yet. And again, another reason why we kind of pulled the blinds down a little bit earlier is just to create that space to slide these in. Just slide the top of your blinds right in there. And before we lock these in, we're gonna get our level just to make sure we are looking good. All right, so as you can see, that green bubble pretty much right in the middle of our level, so we are good to proceed. All right, since our level indicates that we are in good shape, we are just going to simply lock our blinds in. And the way that we do that is just push both flaps in, you hear a click, one side locked, the other side locked. Now, just as a quick double check here, to make sure you inserted your blinds the right way, you should have the little hook here where we're eventually gonna hook on our wand facing out into the left. If you can see this and it's on the left side, you are in good shape. If you cannot see this anywhere, you've got your blinds installed backwards. All right, now we're just going to gently pull the blinds from the bottom all the way down, basically finishing the job of what we started to do previously. So just grab the bottom and gently pull. You can go all the way down. Once you've got all those blinds all the way down, we're gonna install our wand right into that hook that we talked about before. And it's right on the left here. And just turn it kind of sideways so you can slide the top of the wand. As you can see, there's a little hook right there. You're just gonna slide the top of that right in to the space available. And then this will let you open and close your blinds. All right, before we put our valance on, and this is the piece that goes kind of right over top of your blinds. It's just a decorative, looks like a decorative molding. Before we put that on, we are just going to put the valance caps on. These are just kind of decorative pieces that go right on the end. And this is something you don't have to do, but it looks a little nicer. What you want to do is just insert those right into this spot right here. Just top of these right here. It goes right into that space provided. And you should just be able to push them in. If not, if you have a little mallet around, that'll help. And that's what they look like. So we're just gonna put the other one on the other side too. So next we are going to put some valance clips on the back. And these are the things that hook into the valance and then clip onto the horizontal piece at the top of your blinds so that the decorative piece looks all nice and pretty on there. So we're just going to grab one of the clips and install it right into the back of this right here. Now the directions will tell you to put these on the top of your blinds first. I like to put them on in my hand, just a preference thing. So you just have to kind of slide it right in the groove right here till they click. So that's one in. Get one on the other side as well. All right, so we have our valance clips installed, as you can see right here and up here. Now the bottoms of these, where the opening is, that's right where we're gonna slide the vertical part of the top of our blind. So we just take these, and push these clips right in. Ooh, if I can hold on to it, that would help. And the other. We'll give you a view from the top here. So here's one of our clips right there. If we move down, there's the other clip. Now, when you're doing this, you do have to make sure that your clip isn't over here or right here, or even on the other side right here, because they won't attach to the top of the blinds because there are other pieces and parts in the way. So all you have to do if that happens is move them, or if you want to plan ahead, you can measure how far out from the end of the valance you should put each one of the clips so you don't run into that issue. All right, the last thing that we're going to do to finish this off is put our end caps on. And that's what these pieces are, and they simply fit on the bottom of your blinds, this last piece that's kind of hanging out down there. So you just grab one of them and simply insert into the end. Should go in relatively easily, just like that. And you can just put the other one in on the other side, and that about does it. We'll take a step back and see the whole view before we're finished. All right, as you can see, this is looking really good. Some basic functionality things. As you saw before, we've got the wand here. You can just use this to open and close your blinds. Now, if you're wondering, without the cords, how do I make these blinds go up and down? Well, it's simple. Just like when at the beginning of the video we separated the bottom a little bit by just pulling down on the blinds to push them back up, you just push up the bottom, and again, to pull them back down, you just pull them back down. So for instance, right here, as you can see, we just push up and they stay miraculously. And again, you can just pull them back down. That's a wrap, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.